Hey there, YouTube. Hope you're all doing well out there today. I've talked a little bit about mobility briefly passing a while back, but I just thought I would do this one today kind of as a continuation of a video I did recently on my perspective on exercise, moving the body, and actually getting prepared for our marginal decade, which basically our marginal decade is our last decade in life. And you don't want to just be living that decade. You want to. I want to be healthy. I want to be able to move around. I want to be able to do a lot of the things that I'm able to do now. And one of the things I've just been dabbling in per a video, like I say, I did a while back, is mobility. I was listening to a good podcast. Actually, I've been listening to podcasts on mobility recently, and I was listening to a good one of Tim Ferriss when he had Kelly Starrett on his show, and they were talking about a lot of practical stuff dealing with mobility. But a lot of mobility, like as I listen to this and then watch YouTube videos and what have you, it's just simple stuff. A lot of the things, like sitting on the floor right now, there's a lot of cultures that just do this regularly. Japan, from what I understand, hotels, like everything is just different. Like, beds are on the floor. People sit on the floor, and not just for a couple of minutes. It's a regular thing, and it's really good for our bodies. And there's a lot of older people out there probably thinking, oh my God, no way, I couldn't get down, I couldn't get back up. But it's not supposed to be like that. And a lot of just sitting on the floor improves so many things. It helps to improve flexibility in the hips, in the knees, and the lower back. So a lot of these issues, and they don't necessarily come down to just stretching. And that's one of the things I'm studying right now, when to stretch, when not to stretch, and when to strengthen certain areas. Because sometimes it's not just about stretching, but strengthening and doing active mobilization exercises through there. So I'll write down some names. I'll write down that name below, Kelly Starrett. He wrote a really good book. I think I've talked about it before with his wife, Juliet, called Built to Move. And there's just a lot of good practical stuff in there. But hip mobility is one of the big ones. I've gotten back into the gym in the last 6 months or so, and actually working my legs in there. I realized for the longest time going to the gym, I was just phoning it in. Even back when I was going to the gym, I was just kind of phoning it in on the legs. And I really kind of tried to drill down a little bit and work out in a more efficient way. And another one is just, besides actually working out the legs and doing things, is just this is a good one as well, just squatting. That's another natural position that a lot of people use in other countries just to hang out with. Now, my heels are flat on the floor right now. My back is not actually all that straight, which is what I'm shooting for. But just hanging out like this, for a certain amount of time every day, a little bit of time, just whenever you can, is just so opening on those hips. But as you have to always put a disclaimer in there, people that already have issues with their back, people that have hip issues, make sure that you can actually do this. But I'm sure if you can't, and most people actually can, I'm sure if you can't, there are, exercises to get you to a stage where you can do this. But I guess the point being is just don't go out and hurt yourself. Another one that's really good that he talks about in that book, Built to Move, but I hear it talked about by a lot of people that are doing, putting out content on mobility, is the couch stretch. The couch stretch is one of the best things you can do for your hips as possible. Now, what I was doing with a couple of nights ago, 3 nights ago, and my hips are just so tight. When I was doing yoga, my hips tended to be a lot more open, because I was doing sitting like this, which was hip opening, and I was also doing King Pigeon, which was very hip opening. So I've lost a lot in the last 6 or 7 years, so I want to get back to that. And another good one too for even this just simple upper body that I've been seeing a lot of people recommend lately is just hanging, just from a pull-up bar or wherever you can grab, just hanging for however long you can, 30 seconds, a minute, 2 minutes, and just doing that throughout the day, because it kind of The hanging can help decompress our spine and just make our bodies more fluid, and just kind of oil those joints a little bit, if you will, and make us where we can move and do the natural things that we're meant to do. Because like I mentioned in another video, a lot of this stuff is for, if older people out there, a lot of you older people, I'm not, I never had kids, but you're going to have grandkids. Don't you want to get on the floor and be able to play with your grandkids, or do you want to be that old pawpaw that's always sitting in his chair, or grandma can't get down on the floor, grandma can't do this and that? You want to be able to pick your children up. So, all this stuff is kind of practical stuff, and it's also a practical way to to prevent pain in the future. Like I've mentioned before, I feel very, very fortunate that pretty much I'll be 60 in a couple of months, that at 60 I don't have a lot of aches and pains, knock on wood. Every once in a while I'll sleep funny and I'll wake up with something in my shoulder, but from day to day, I thank God my back, my knees, seem to be in pretty good shape for an old man. But I was watching some other videos last night because I'm trying to put together like a regular routine. Not just doing this stuff every once in a while, but things that I can do every day, and more practical, focused mobility workouts that I will do on maybe 2-3 times a week, that are like full kind of, I don't want to call them a workout, but maybe they take more like 20 minutes or so. But anyhow, I'll put some links to some videos I was watching, some of the people I like. I'm kind of, like I say, putting a routine together for myself. I'm not necessarily going to do anybody's routine like from start to finish. I'm going to just kind of like, okay, I like this element, and just take it from there. But go search, you can listen to a lot of good podcasts. I'll put the link to Tim Ferriss's podcast below. But if you just search where you get your podcast, or on YouTube, mobility training, mobility workouts, that's all I did. And you come up with a lot of good information out there. So anyhow, hope you guys enjoyed this one today. If you like it, please give me a thumbs up. Have a great rest of the week, and I'll see you here soon. Peace.